Hey there, I'm Alan Matthews from Classical Guitar Shed. We're going to be talking about the G chord, more than you even want to know about the G chord. If you enjoy this, please do subscribe to this channel, click the little bell for notifications. All right, let's dive in. So the G chord, looking at our grid, the lines up and down are the strings, the lines side to side are the frets, and so you can see where put your fingers by the dots and the finger numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you'll notice with the G chord, we use all 6 strings, and the second finger comes down on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, low string, then the 1 falling in line, 5th string, 2nd fret. We play the 3rd and 4th strings open, that means no frets, and then the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, the 2nd string, and the pinky right next to it on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Now sometimes you'll see this without that 3rd finger on there, and then switching that finger over or something. You'll also see it using different fingers like this, which makes a nice big stretch between the 3rd and 4th string fingers all the way across the neck. Those are all fine. At different times you'll want different ones depending on the chords that you're playing with along with them. So it's best to just be able to play them all the different fingerings. But I typically gravitate, if I just said play a G chord, this would be the one. 2, 1, open, open, 3, 4, or the finger numbers. And so there's a couple of things to look at here. First off, look at my wrist angle here. My thumb is behind the fingers, and that enables me to not have a big angle in my wrist. Now if my elbow is tucked, it would be like this, and so my elbow is not tucked. My elbow is behind the fingers. So I'm really in this strong position like this on there. So getting that out, getting some space there. If likewise, this part of your finger, a lot of beginning players want to plaster this to the side of their guitar like this. They just want to stick it right there and then always keep it there. Not a great idea. Make sure that there is some space there. So don't let this part of your finger touch the side of the guitar. Instead, just keep some space. Now we are coming in at an angle. Anytime that we have more than one finger playing on the same fret, we've got to do an angle or else the finger just doesn't work that way. We can force the issue, but it's best not to. So we can just angle just a little bit this way, and that means that we're coming into the strings at a slight angle. Makes everything so much easier to do it this way. One note too, if your guitar is very low, then this is going to create problems for you. It's best to just get your neck up a little bit. If you want to put a pillow under here or a guitar support or something, wear a strap. It's just nicer to have the neck elevated. It just makes it way easier on your wrist so that you're not having to contort and hurt yourself in that way. So now that we have that, what goes wrong with this? Well, besides gluing the hand to the side of the neck like this that I mentioned, also one of the things is if the thumb is too high, then that first finger or any finger may flop over and mute out the next string. So we might have, if our second finger here is too much at an angle, then it's going to be muting out that 5th string. Likewise, if the first finger is flat, it'll mute out that next. So we want to make everything come down on top of the string, making a nice tunnel in the middle for those open strings. And so each note is clear, and you can just listen for each note to be ringing out beautiful and clear, and that is the thing. Another potential issue is if you lock your knuckles. This little knuckle, if you do this with it, that's not so great. Doing some sort of thing like this, it creates a lot of tension and it doesn't allow you very much control. Instead, if you find yourself doing that, you just need to curve your fingers more. So you can just drop your hand down a little bit so that your fingers come in more at a curve. And that's going to be a better way. One of the things that you can do to play with this is to put all the fingers on and then kind of move your hand around a little bit on there. Just move it around by the, use your big muscles to do this and just notice what, where your freedom of movement is, where your possible movements are. And that can just allow you to understand better how your fingers work here. Common chords that the G chord plays next to, C chord is one very popular one, as is the D chord. And so one of the great things about the D chord is that you share a finger. this third finger right here is in both chords. So you can just leave that one on. And so whenever you're playing between those two chords, that's something that you can anchor with. You can use that as an anchor finger. And so that's really helpful. All right. What other chords does the G chord similarly go to? The E minor chord also, if we play it like this, has a common finger, the first finger. And so that's something, it's just something you can look at. Also, when you're first learning this, you can notice when you put your hand down, in what order do you put your fingers down? And then can you switch that up just to make things difficult for yourself? You'll learn it faster if you do that. So practice placing the second finger down first and then filling in all the things. Then practice playing the first finger first and then do it. And then the third finger and then the fourth finger. So all of those different ones that you would like to do. And then practice back and forth with that. Likewise with the chords. Now when you're out and about in the day, then you can use your arm and come in and practice here. So you got your G chord and you can just practice your switches. G to C to G to C to G, and just practice these, and it will just help you every time you can recall the chord, and you can just do the movements in your head. You can visualize the fretboard, you can visualize this grid, and the more that you do that, the more frequently that you do that, the more times that you do that, the faster you will learn it. So if you only play for a few minutes a day and that's the only time you think about it, well, that's great, but it's way more productive to think about it a few more times during the day and just do a quick practice, even if it's just for a few seconds. All right, well, this has been the G chord. Go forth and play some serious G chords, and I'll talk to you soon. Please do subscribe to this channel. Have fun. Bye-bye.